With Makara Sankranti coming up soon, I am prepping a few things ahead. Shenga Pudi, Chutney Pudi and Sajji rotte that can be made beforehand, saving up time and has a long shelf life. Now to make Shenga Pudi. Shenga means peanuts. It is a flavoured powder that can be eaten with rice and ghee or combined with yogurt to dip in your chapatis and roti. Or this powder can also be used in as a sandwich filling and it tastes absolutely amazing. I am dry roasting a cup of red peanuts by stirring it occasionally at the beginning and keeping the other ingredients needed ready. Peanut powder needs very few ingredients. Now that I can see the peanuts are changing the colors, I make sure to stir continuously. It's important to make sure the peanuts are completely roasted to taste good. I turn off the flame. I have a big muslin cloth, spread open and wide. You can use a towel or a newspaper or a kitchen napkin, allowing the peanuts to cool down completely. In the meantime, I am working in making another variety of gunpowder which is called Chutney Pudi. It's tangy, it's sweet, it's hot and is a very tasty powder that I have shown the recipe in detail earlier that I am going to link up the video for you all to watch. This Chutney Pudi tastes incredibly good with Sajje rotte, so I am making it today again and is a great combination with peanut powder. Now that the peanuts are completely cooled down, the skin of the peanut comes out very easily. The most easy way to separate the peanuts from its skin is by just rolling the pin over them. Doing it this way can be a lot easy with no mess. Now to separate the skin, I use a sieve. Using a napkin underneath holds up everything, which is a lot easy to clean. Transferring the peanuts into the jar. Easy to dust off straight away into the bin, having a clean kitchen countertop. Now to the peanuts I add in salt to taste, a teaspoon of red chili powder, a very small piece of garlic clove. Now to get the powder consistency of the peanuts, it's important to just whisk the mixie jar. Then using the numbers to grind the peanuts, as peanuts has lot of oil content in them, turning into a paste. Just whizzing it will help to get the powder of the peanuts. Peanut powder, which is Shenga Pudi, is now ready that can be stored for months' time. I'm using the same mixie jar and making the Chutney Pudi. This way I have both the gunpowders ready. I'm continuing to use the same mixie jar to make Khara Chutney, which is made using fresh red chilies. Remember, I had them frozen before I went for the cruise holiday from my very own garden. Yes, you can use the fresh red chilies, but these are frozen ones. They taste really good. Adding in salt, half a garlic clove and half a fresh lime. That's it. This chutney is super easy and super tasty that can be eaten with chapatis, roti, chakli and nippattu. And now to make Sajji roti, I always make sure to use a new pack and try using it continuously once opened, with it being sealed, getting the right texture, and to roll the roti is a lot easy. I am using the same method what Arunaka had taught me on how to make soft Jolad rotte. I am going to link up the video at the end of this video for you all to have a look. 1 cup of bajra atta, which is Sajje hittu, to 1 cup of water which is set to boil. I'm also keeping the sesame seeds and the bajra atta in a plate. With the water now come to a good boil, I add in the Sajje hittu. On a very low flame, I quickly give a good stir and turn off the flame. I transfer it onto a plate. Allow it to cool down just for a minute or two. And now I'm kneading it down with my palm. This measurement yields 6 medium-sized roti. It's important to cover up so that the dough doesn't get hard. I apply sesame seeds, which is yellow, to one side of the dough. Dusting with the bajra atta as and when needed to roll. You can either make soft rotte or kadak rotti using the same method. Onto the pan. Need to dab the top layer with water with a piece of cloth or kitchen towel. With the roti now ready on both the sides, which can be eaten soft. If you want to make it kadak, then set the flame to low and keep turning the roti with a dry kitchen towel, moving it around until it turns crispy, and then flipping it over onto the other side and continue to do the same. These rotis can be saved for a very long time once they are crispy, but the soft ones need to be consumed in 2 to 3 days time. It's always me and my husband make rotis together. This is a little time consuming process, so you can get this done beforehand and keep the rotis ready. You can use the same method as I have shown to either make Jolad roti, which is jawar flour, or Sajje roti, which is bajre ka atta, millet flour. Once you have all the rotis ready, it's important to cool them down completely before storing them in an airtight container. Now with the remaining flour, this is what I do. I fold it up and seal it completely with a stapler to be used for the next time. The following day, I am set to make the Bogi Uta, which is a very traditional platter cooked a day before Sankranti. All the dishes taste amazing, and the best part, it's super healthy too. I am planning to make Soppu Palya, which is Pappu, Badnekai Yengai, which is also called as Bartha, Huggi, which is Kara Pongal, Chavalekai Palya, which is cluster bean sabzi, and a very healthy, super quick sweet dish which is called Bharta using sweet potatoes that I chop into big chunks and add in hot water from the kettle to get softened. I have the cluster beans that I have cut and have it ready to be steamed. This steamer is from IKEA. I am using the pressure cooker, adding in very little of water to the base to steam the cluster beans for 10 minutes time. Now I cut one big onion into small squares to make the tadka. A good amount of onion tastes good to the sabzi. Ready to make the cluster bean sabzi. Adding in a tablespoon of oil, mustard seeds, a teaspoon of urad dal, curry leaves and onions until they change the color to golden brown. I add in quarter teaspoon of green chili paste, quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder, salt to taste. With it being 10 minutes now, I add in the cluster beans which are now steamed, and I add in very little of the steamed water to create moisture and the chavalekai, giving it a good mix. A tablespoon of freshly grated coconut and finely chopped coriander leaves. Chavalekai Palya, which is cluster bean sabzi, is now ready. I always prefer and try my best to continue using the same vessel throughout the whole of the cooking and plan it in such a way that I now set the pressure cooker to cook half a cup of tur dal to make pappu. The sweet potatoes are now softened, so I drain off the water and peel the skin straight away. I allow for them to cool down completely. To make pappu, I add in 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, mustard seeds, curry leaves, hing, around 10 to 12 shallot onions, 5 to 6 garlic cloves, 1 brinjal chopped, 1 tomato, around 2 handful of palak leaves, 1 handful of dill leaves, which is Namaste Soppu. I soften all of them for a minute or 2. The tur dal is now cooked. Adding in a little bit of more water. Quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1.5 teaspoon of homemade garam masala, a teaspoon of green chili paste, salt to taste. This pappu is so tasty on its own that you can skip adding homemade garam masala. I will try showing on how I make garam masala at home in the coming up videos. Around 2 tablespoons of tamarind pulp, a tablespoon of grated coconut and coriander leaves. This is the consistency that I prefer for the pappu to be thick and not runny, allowing it to come to a good boil. Now to make Huggi, which is a very spicy version of Pongal, I measure in half a cup of rice, giving it a good wash and soaking in very little of water. Dry roasting half a cup of moong dal until they are piping hot. Now to make the masala powder, I add in 4 cloves, 15 peppercorns, 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds and grind it to a powder. Using a thick base pot, I add in a teaspoon of oil and a teaspoon of ghee, 1 red chilli and frozen chana dal. We actually call this kadlegida. You can skip or add in chana dal. It's entirely optional, but it tastes really good. I add in the masala powder, which gives a good strong flavor to the Huggi. Now I add in the roasted moong dal and hot water from the kettle, allowing the moong dal to get softened. Parallelly, I start working on the Badnekai Yengai, for which I dry roast 1 fistful of peanuts. I have taken out the skin from the peanuts and 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds, 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon of red chilli powder, salt to taste, 4 garlic cloves, 1 inch of ginger, 5 tablespoons of freshly grated coconut. Water to grind to a smooth paste. The moong dal is almost 50% done. At this point, I add in the soaked rice, allowing the rice to be cooked and the moong dal to be further cooked. I cut the brinjal from its end, holding the top portion. I slit open into half and then into quarter, only up till the 3/4 point, and the 1/4 point is still holding tight. I fill up the masala into the slit open section of the brinjal and keep it ready. With both the greens now completely cooked, I add in salt and to finish off with coconut and coriander leaves. This is a perfect winter food that can soothe you down with its spiciness and the warmthness of the moong dal. Now, I prefer using the pressure cooker to make Badnekai Yengai as a quick one-pot dish, adding in generous amount of coconut oil, around 2 tablespoons, and a teaspoon of cumin seeds, a few curry leaves, 15 to 20 shallot onions, 3 stuffed brinjal, and the entire masala with very little of water. I pressure cook for just 1 whistle. Now to finish off with what I had started, the sweet dish Bharta. The sweet potatoes are completely cooled down now. I add in jaggery. Now the amount is to do with the eye measurement. I have used around quarter the amount of jaggery to the portion of sweet potatoes. You can always increase or decrease the ratio to suit to your taste. I blend it into the mixie jar to get a smooth paste. This sweet dish is called Bharta that we do specially for this festival. It's a healthy sweet dish which is super easy and quick to make. I finish off by adding in a teaspoon of poppy seeds. It's been a whistle, and to the sabzi I add in coriander leaves to complete the dish. Badnekai Yengai, which is also called as Bangan ka Bartha, also called as stuffed brinjal, tastes absolutely fantastic with kadak rotti and chapatis. And this is how we enjoy eating our Bogi platter. Peanut powder, chutney pudi, Khara Chutney, benne, which is butter, raw shallot onions, carrot slices, palak leaves, Pappu, Chavalekai Palya, yogurt, Badnekai Yengai, Bharta, Huggi and Kadak rotti. Now, after a few days, if you feel the roti is not as crispy as it was, what you can do, on a very low flame, directly place the rotis and keep turning it and flip it onto the other side to turn it crispy. This way you will have crispy Kadak rotis again. I really hope you found this video helpful on how to make a very traditional platter ready for Sankranti to enjoy with your family. Wishing you all a very happy festival. One big festival with various names.